Hey guys, sorry we had a little blip there right from the get-go. Sorry I've been off here for a while. We had finished up summer and wanted to just enjoy it. My parents were here for 45 days, which if you have kids and grandparents, being able to watch grandparents interact with kids is one of the coolest things in the world. And so I just wanted to soak all of that in. But I'm back. We're back on schedule. We're back. Kids are in school and all that good stuff. So here we are back to kind of the normal routine, which I actually really like. So I wanted to chat with you today about this whole concept of inner circle and your top five and who they are they the right ones, and then how do you find, what is this? And when for me, when I became an entrepreneur, I realized very quickly that lots of things were changing. How I talked to myself needed to change, where I spent my time needed to change, who was feeding me needed to change, which meant I really needed a different inner circle. And I didn't even really know that I had an inner circle and wasn't very intentional about it. Brene Brown refers to it as your list. Who are those people in your life that you've granted access to and their voice matters because they have a vested interest in you, they care about you, they love you, they want your best interests at heart. And what I realized in my life was I had a lot of noise and a lot of chatter and a lot of voices that were impacting me, but weren't. I didn't necessarily grant them access, but they had access, and so I had a lot of revising that needed to happen. And I really needed an inner circle. I needed an inner circle that could propel me on this journey and help me in the becoming of where I aspired to be. And we all need it. And if you're an entrepreneur, it can get very lonely, and you may have a lot of people in your life that don't understand what you're doing. And so I just wanted to chat with you what the process looked like for me, at least in terms of identifying who the top five were and how I kind of realized I needed some changes. Have any of you guys heard the story about the crabs, the boiling pot of water and the crabs? And I won't expand on it. I'm not a detail person, but the gist of it is that when you have a pot of boiling water and a bunch of crabs in there, they can pile on and work together, and one will be getting very close to getting out of the pot, and the ones that are down in there pull that sucker right back in. And that visual never left me. When you're on a journey of becoming, when you're on a journey of bettering yourself every day, there's going to be people in your life that don't get it. And you make them uncomfortable just because you're on this journey. Not because you have it figured out, not because you're perfect, but because you're seeking something different and you're working to change. They want to pull you right back where you were. And so here's kind of where things started to bubble for me. Was I realized that there were some people in my life that seemed to be supportive of what I was doing, but at the end of the day, it really boiled down to them trying to pull me back to where I was coming from, as opposed to propelling me to where I was going. And that's when I realized I really needed to do some work. We've probably all heard that saying, we become like the top five people that we spend time with. And I had heard that saying over and over and over from the moment I started my own business, but it was about 2 years into my business when I really heard it. You know how that works, where you hear it, but then like, okay, whoa, I get this. I have some work to do. So what did I do? Nothing fancy, you guys. I just simply started to do an hour by hour tracker of where my time was going, meaning with who. Not what I was doing, anything like that, but who was consuming the majority of my day. And as I started to identify that, then I was able to move into what was happening during that time frame, what was being discussed during those moments. And what I realized was I had a number of people in my inner circle that I didn't even intentionally create that was full of gossip and negativity and victim mentality, and just a lot of stuff that wasn't in my best interest to help push me forward into where I was headed. And guys, if the saying is true, you become like the five, you become like the five that you spend the most time with. I thought, this kind of scares me because I don't want to gossip. I don't want to be full of negativity. I want to have my life matter. So I knew I had some changing that needed to happen, because I knew that in order for me to become a better version of myself, I needed to change all of those top 5. So another quote that kind of stuck out to me is, great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and then small minds discuss people. And I was surrounded by a lot of people that were discussing people. And gossip and negativity is the easy way, you guys. It's harder to take a stand. And, if you're anything like me, it's enticing. Gossip was very enticing. And as I was around people that were doing it, I got sucked right into it. And I thought, this isn't what and who I want to be. So after I realized I needed a new set of 5, then it was, how do you find them? Who are these people? Well, the rebuilding started, and the rebuilding starts really by understanding not only who you are, being very real with the reality of who you are. And that was the realization of, I am that person. I am that person that gossips. I am that person that's stuck in negativity. I am that person, but it's not who I wanted to be. And there's a journey of becoming, right? It's not faking it. It's becoming something better. And so once I knew that, then I could sit down and go, okay, so who are the people that inspire me in a way that I want to be? And some of the inspiration can come from people that have accomplished goals that you have set out for yourself, or maybe it's people spiritually that you admire because of how much they're giving back. My top 5 aren't necessarily people that I know. Some of my top 5 are people that that are famous, but the way that famous is a weird word. I guess they have a platform is probably a better way to put it. And so how that works is I just make sure that I'm controlling the content that's coming in. So I'm being fed primarily by that as opposed to what I was being fed before. So it could be through podcasts, and it could be through, reading and that sort of thing. But then you can get intentional about who those top 5 are and what is coming in, because it's through the process of what's coming into you daily that will help you actually become what it is that you're on this journey to become. So first, you have to look at, do you even have an inner circle? And if you don't, if you're an entrepreneur and if you're on this journey of becoming all you can be, and you really want to have significance and you want your life to matter, you need one. And if you don't know who you're spending the most of your time with, just do a quick and easy time journal to see who is primarily feeding you. You might be shocked like I was, and then you have some realization to kind of come to truths with, right? Because you are that person, which I was kind of bummed to learn that that's who I was, but I also knew that I had control and could move myself out of it. And then it was starting to identify who are the people that are going to feed me. And don't be afraid to be fed from afar, especially in the beginning, because my network was so different. I had to kind of meet new people, and it started with being fed from afar, meaning I was being fed by podcasts and books and Facebook groups and things like that I wasn't necessarily physically interacting with, but through that process have met some really incredible people. Keep your inner circle small. Your inner circle is that list that matters, and learn to turn off the chatter of all the others, because everybody is going to have an opinion on what you're doing, but not everybody's opinion matters. The inner circle matters because they're there to breathe life into you. They're there to sharpen you. They're there to give you truth, and they really have your best interests at heart. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.